Hashtag Stop Galamsey now.
Cinema, let the water flow. I will speak to him directly. President John Dramani Mahama. Yellow blood do.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM in Accra. We're also live on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com affiliates in all 16 regions of Ghana, including Kekeli FM Ho, Bishara Radio Tamale, KTU Radio Koforidua, Oil City Radio Takrade, and Cape FM, Castle FM Cape Coast. Also live on X Spaces, Facebook and YouTube. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, widow of late Ayawaso East MP formally declares her intention to contest the seat as the National Democratic Congress opens nominations for the parliamentary by-election on Saturday.
It will be difficult for her to stand or to win the election. It will be difficult for her.
There are a lot of aspirants, but for now, until nomination form are open tomorrow, and you see how many people pick the form, you can't categorically say we have 5 people, 10 people, or 20 people contesting.
Well, we'll get reactions from constituents. Also, this afternoon, pressure mounts for Cocobot CEO to be searched for using Cocobot's legal department to pursue a defamation action, which has now been dismissed by an Accra High Court.
Last year, at this time, maize was 500 Ghana cedis a bag. But this year, like this, even 300, you will not get.
Many people will drop out from the farming this year.
We never enjoy anything from the buffer stock.
And the Peasant Farmers Association fight government over delay in lifting grain export ban on local maize rots on farms. We have details as the farmers in the Upper West region suffer severe financial losses, with bags of maize left unsold, destroyed by bushfires, and others left exposed due to lack of storage in spots.
Media Sporting Club eye a 10-point lead at the top of the Ghana Premier League against Kerala United.
And we'll hear Joy News is bringing the fun closer to you this January as the Joy Brands take over the Achimota Retail Center for an exciting 3-day family experience dubbed Joy at the Mall.
Now, aside from the huge discounts, one of the major highlights of the event is the opportunity to take photo moments with your favorite Joy presenters, the meet and greet, the selfies, the live interactions.
These and more with me, Maame Esi Nyamekye Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. Please stay. Let's get into the details now. The race for the Ayawasu East parliamentary seat is gradually taking shape as Haja Amina Adam, widow of the late Member of Parliament Maame Esi Toure, officially announces her intention to contest the upcoming by-election. The Electoral Commission on January 16 set Tuesday, March 3 as the date for the by-election after the death of the sitting MP created a vacancy in Parliament. In a statement issued on Thursday, Haja Adam said her decision was influenced by sustained appeals from constituents, grassroots party members and traditional leaders urging her to continue the work of her late husband. But even as the widow's declaration dominates the early narrative, the development also revives historical interest in Ghana's politics, where spouses of deceased members of Parliament have, in some instances, successfully contested and won by elections. There's more on the following News Desk report.
Since the start of Ghana's Fourth Republic in 1993, there have been a handful of notable cases where the wife or widow of a deceased member of parliament or parliamentary candidate stepped in to contest elections, often following the death of their husband while in active politics. These cases, though few, have all ended in electoral victory. The first recorded instance dates back to the year 2000 in the Esutifi South constituency. Cecilia Jan Amoa, wife of NPP parliamentary candidate Dr. Philip Kofi Ejapon Amoa, entered the race after her husband died in the run-up to the general election. The party selected her to replace him, and she went on to win the seat. In 2016, a similar situation unfolded in the Shai Osudoku constituency. The NDC's parliamentary candidate, Desmond William Oklu, died in a tragic road accident before the general election. The party subsequently nominated his widow, Linda Obiniwa Akwele Oklu, who won the seat and has remained in parliament since. The other high-profile case occurred in Ayawasu West Wogon in 2019, following the death of NPP MP Emmanuel Chematin Ejakon. Lydia Sarah Malasan, who had a prior relationship with the late MP, was selected to contest the by-election. She retained a seat in that controversial Ayawasu West Wogon by-election. In the Tempane constituency, the death of NDC MP David Adakudugu in 2019 paved way for his wife, Akamvariba Lydia Lamisi, to enter the race. She was chosen as the party's replacement candidate and won the seat in 2020. Again in 2020, following the murder of sitting MP for Infantiman Echo Hayford during the campaign period, the NPP selected his widow, Ophelia Hayford, to contest the election. She resigned from the Ghana Police Service to run and won the seat in December 2020.
Well, the NDC will begin receiving nominations on Saturday ahead of the by-election. My colleague, Stephen Mensah, joins me in studio with details of the party statement. Stephen, what does it say?
Well, Maame Esi, the party statement spells out the clear guidelines for the internal primaries, including nomination timelines, filing fees, eligibility criteria, and the code of conduct expected of all aspirants and their supporters. The party says the process is aimed at ensuring a transparent, orderly and united front as it prepares for the by-election. Well, you've also been engaging some party faithfuls in the area ahead of the by-elections. What have they been telling you? Well, for most of the party faithfuls we've spoken to, emotions remain high following the death of the NP, but there's also a strong desire for unity and development in the community. We can listen to some of them.
It will be difficult for her to stand or to win the election. It will be difficult for her. But let's put our fingers across and then see what will happen. With support, we will support her. I mean, it's like election. Someone will be like, I will support her. The person will go behind the polling station or behind the ballot box, and then the person will be like, oh, I won't allow this, so let me just give it to the man. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm a Christian though, but I don't know whether she will win or not. I'm confused. I doubt. Yeah, I doubt.
For her to succeed, it might have been better if someone else had contested in her place.
We are more concentrated on our inner primaries, that is to elect our parliamentary candidate. So after that, which is going to happen on the 7th February, after that, then we all come together and proceed towards the March 3rd election. There are a lot of aspirants, but for now, until nomination form are open tomorrow, and you see how many people pick the form, you can't categorically say we have 5 people, 10 people, or 20 people contesting. Depending on who and who are going to pick the form, that is where we draw the line that we have 3, 4, or 5 people contesting. You know, East Ayawaso has been a backbone and NDC purely constituency since '92. So everybody is looking up to the NDC. Who are you presenting?
Well, away from that, this afternoon there's pressure on Cocoa CEO Randy Abe to fully reimburse Cocoa Board of the legal fees incurred after he used the organization's legal department to pursue a defamation action against NPP's Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronye. Randy Abe had claimed that Abronye had made publications that harmed his reputation, but suit was filed by the legal director of Cocoa Board. In a ruling, Justice Halima Alwa Abdul Basit dismissed the suit as incompetent because of the use of the legal director of Cocoa Board to file the action. Member of our legal affairs desk, Kweku Asante, joins me in studio with more on this. Kweku, first, tell us about the recent ruling of the judge on the case.
In fact, it was a very brief one. According to the judge, and in fact, let me quote, he says, the plaintiff issued the instant writ of summons and statement of claim on the 26th of August. And the crux of his case was that the defendant had made certain broadcasts which are defamatory and injurious to his hard-earned reputation. The writ of summons and statement of claim was issued by the legal department of the plaintiff institution, being the Ghana Cocoa Board, with the legal director of Cocoa Board being counsel for the plaintiff. As far as the court is concerned, this suit borders on defamation, and it is right that the tort of defamation is in personam, as it is directed against a specific individual whose reputation has been harmed. Although the said publication were made against the defendant with respect to his current position as CEO of Cocoa Board is not named a party in this instance suit to warrant the legal department to issue the instant writ, with the legal director of Cocoa Board being counsel. In the instance, I therefore find the instant writ as procedurally defective and same dismissed.
Well, Kweku, some activists are now demanding that Cocoa Board be reimbursed. Why?
Yes, in particular, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, the Fix the Country activist, he made a Facebook post. He says that, I have seen the correct decision by Justice Halima Abdul Basit, dismissing the defamation suit filed by Randy Abbey because he used the legal department of Cocoa Board to file the suit. I applaud the decision. Further, I think it is proper that Randy Abbey be personally surcharged for the expenses, time and cost of legal resources used for the institution of this action. This should be done at commercial rate, and is also personally recommending that Randy Abbey looks at the GBA scale of fees and pays this amount to Cocoa Board.
Well, despite this ruling, though, Randy Abbey has filed the action with a new lawyer. What are the details?
In fact, right after the court made this decision, a new lawyer filed the same specifics of the same action against the person of Abronye, and this time he is being represented by one Alex O, Esquire of Spring Legal Consultancy.
Right, thank you very much, Kwekwasanti. Well, on the phone lines now is anti-corruption campaigner Adam Senano. Adam, so you've heard the details. Will you describe the situation as abuse of office, or do you support the calls for him to be surcharged?
Well, I can't tell whether it was abuse of office, because I don't know whether he has any legal background or training. He probably may have missed the import of the thing being a personal case rather than a corporate thing. In my mind, he should have gotten better legal advice, and so I don't know who advised him to take this course of action. Whichever course of action, though, I think that once the court ruling is clear that this is not something he should have involved a corporate lawyer in, he should advise himself and reimburse the entity any cost involved in following up on this particular issue.
Grateful for your time, Adam Senano. He's an anti-corruption campaigner. Well, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is mounting strong criticism against the government over its continued failure to lift the ban on grain exports, even as farmers across the country struggle to sell their produce. According to the association, the situation has been worsened by the influx of imported maize, which continues to dominate local market, leaving locally produced grains without buyers and pushing farmers into deep financial stress. Farmers in the Upper West region are among the hardest hit, as thousands of bags of maize remain unsold, despite repeated appeals for intervention. On Joy News, the Peasant Farmers Association warned that the prolonged situation could discourage large-scale and commercial farming, with dire consequences for national food. But before we engage the association, here are some farmers expressing their frustration.
The farmers are not only devastated by the situation, but are also discouraged from continuing large-scale commercial maize farming. From the municipal capital to the most remote parts of the municipality, farmers are left in limbo, with their bags of maize sitting idle and yearning for the market. Commercial farmers in the Upper West region, including the 2025 Upper West Best Woman Farmer, Damata Yusuf, say the losses incurred during the farming season are enormous due to the poor sales.
Last year, at this time, maize was 500 Ghana cedis a bag. That's 100 kg. But this year, like this, even 300 you will not get.
I have already incurred losses this farming season. Even though I am yet to sell my bags of maize, the current market price is a clear indication that I will lose a significant amount of money.
Joining me now is the National President of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Wepia Awal Adogwala. Thank you for joining us. We also have on the line Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs, Dr. Godfrey Sidu. We're grateful for your time, gentlemen. Let me start with the Peasant Farmers Association President. You've engaged the Ministry of Food and Agriculture on the ban to be lifted. Or have you received any response?
Good afternoon. And good afternoon to your listeners. For us, as an association, we still continue to indicate, to state the fact that our farm produce are still there, particularly the rice and then the maize. Our engagement with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, of course, the results have been that buffer stock company have to come in to be able to buy the food locally from us. And as we still speak, I think the processes are still ongoing by the buffer stock company. We think that it's long overdue for government to release money for them to purchase the farm produce from the farmers. So for us, that is what we are still looking up to. Buffer stock, I think with the last engagement we are getting, they are registering the aggregators, and like we said, since last year, a number of farmers have even lost their farm produce because of the harmattan last year. And as we speak, just like your interviews that you played on, some of the farmers were indicating there's a lot of maize across the country, there's a lot of paddy rice across the country that we are unable to sell. And this definitely is going to affect this year's production, and we believe that it has consequences on the food security situation for this country.
All right, let me now engage Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Food and Agriculture. Dr. Giselle, has your committee's attention been drawn to this? What immediate steps are you also taking to help address the situation?
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, our attention has been drawn to the glut situation, particularly maize and paddy rice in the country. Now, we have played our role in helping develop and shape policy as well as oversight on this. As a representative of the people, we are very concerned. We've engaged buffer stock in particular, and we have co-developed an approach to solving this problem. Now, we have to agree that it's better that we help the government have a structured solution to this problem. Now, it is a positive problem in the sense that a few years ago, we were very scared about food insecurity. Now, to the extent that we have enough food, that food price inflation is driving down, is positive. Now, our concern is to what extent should it go down to affect farmers who might be afraid to invest further in producing for the next season and subsequent seasons. And so far, our engagement shows that government is approaching this on a three-pronged or a three-legged solution. They've done an assessment of infrastructure, they've done assessment of investments, that's operational, and they've done an assessment of the financing situation. Now, this interplay of factors is actually what is causing what we are having now. Otherwise, if you are struggling to produce food and you have enough food, that is positive news. But these foods have to be traded. These foods have to be stored. These foods have to be value added and exported. Now, immediately, government has allocated 200 million Ghana cedis to enable buffer stock mop up these excess food in the countryside. Now, we are satisfied with buffer stock processes because they've advertised and they'll be able to shortlist at least 13 companies that are supposed to immediately deploy and utilize 160 million of the 200 million to be able to add additional financing, private sector financing, to mop at least 10,000 to 10,000 plus metric tons of maize and also additional 10,000 metric tons of paddy.
Well, so Dr. Jassa, what we also want to understand is another initiative being, pushed forward by the farmers is that they export excess of their produce. Should a ban be lifted?
No. I think that the ban should be lifted at the end of the process because you and I need to be food secure. All these years, this country has never had a food security buffer. We've never had any buffer that in the event that there's climate change, in the event that there are conditions that do not allow us to produce food, how do we survive? That question had never been answered until now. And so it's important that we keep the grains in country, go through the structured solution, and then when we are sure that we have a minimum buffer for the country and that markets are evolving and that farmers are getting income from their produce enough for them to be able to finance the production cycle of the next season, then we can open up for expanded trade, which will be export.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Godfrey Jassal. He's chairman of the Great Committee in Parliament. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joe 99.7 FM. We'll return with sports. And also, Joy News is bringing the fun closer to you this January as the Joy brands take over the Chimoto Retail Center for an exciting 3-day family experience dubbed Joy at the Mall.
Now, aside from the huge discounts, one of the major highlights of the event is the opportunity to take photo moments with your favorite Joy presenters, the meet and greet, the selfies, the live interactions.
Welcome back to the Midday News, Mubarak. Sports.
Yes, Maame Esi, Maame Esi could open a 10-point lead at the top of the Ghana Premier League when they host mid-table side Karela United. Now, the league leaders currently hold a 7-point advantage and are unbeaten in their last 16 league matches, having won 4 of their last 5. Head coach Ibrahim Tanko is confident his side can maintain their good run of form.
He gave us a confidence playing home, and we are preparing very well. We take it as a normal game like every week, and we hope that the boys will deliver for us. Yeah, but we did very well in that game, so definitely we are playing home. We also want to keep our 3 points here. We hope that and the boys will give us that good results.
Yeah, Ibrahim Tanko is the head coach of Midiama Sporting Club.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. Now, at least 10 traders at the Dr. Mensah suburb of Kumasi have been summoned by KMA for operating in poor sanitary condition. A drainage facility running through the frontage of the shops have for months now been concealed in filth emanating unbearable stench and posing serious health risk. There's more in the following report.
Walking through the Krobo Odumasi market, otherwise known as Dr. Mensah in Kumasi, a sight not missed is this drain seeping out its filthy water. The drains running around stalls in the area have for months now been concealed with slabs and choked with heavy garbage. The blocked gutter has become a breeding ground for environmental canker, posing serious health risks. Kumasi Metro Chief Executive Richard Oforiachman Bodi, together with environmental health officers at the KME, stormed the area to trace the source of the filthy water. When you enter this place, you sense the stench, right? Allow the leaders to work. We have constructed tiles on the gutters. If we are to desilt the gutters, how are we going to do that? Remove your items from here so we can help you desilt the gutters. Operating behind the shops is a local eatery, Alpha and Omega, which officials say is primarily contributing to the choked gutters. The food joint has for years been the go-to place for the traders serving all kinds of local meals. Owners of the facility were found to be operating a commercial toilet facility which they argued had permits from the local assembly. But the mayor rejected the claims, insisting the documents were unauthorized as he called for the removal of his staff reported to be issuing the said document. The mayor ordered for the immediate closure of the facility over the serious sanitation breaches.
The Accra Regional Minister Lindo Klu has announced that a full-scale decongestion exercise across all municipalities in the region will begin on February 1. Speaking at the stakeholder engagement and press conference, she emphasized that the exercise will extend beyond the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. The regional minister pleads with traders to strictly adhere to the red lines that have been introduced to define areas in which they can operate.
1st February. We were a little bit relaxed because of the Xmas festivity. Now Christmas is over. In fact, the reasons why we were relaxed is because, traders, some went for loans to buy their stuff so that they'll be able to sell and get some profit to take care of the house. And so that is why we were a little bit slow on them. But this time around, Christmas is over, and I believe whatever they bought has been sold. And so this time around, we'll make sure that they strictly adhere to the red lines. That's all. We'll be going to collect Lotte, Ayawaso Central, Tudu, Ablekuma Central, in fact, cut across. And other districts is also part. So it's not going to be limited only to A&E.
The Ghana National Fire Service has indicated that it is their core mandate to save lives. This follows a prompt response in saving a dog trapped in a well at Amamole, Canada Junction here in Accra. Residents of the area have showered praises to the emergency response team for their service. Deputy Public Relations Officer DO2 Desmond Aka says rescuing lives, whether human or animal, is a core part of the firefighters' mandate.
Yes, so our mandate is to save lives and to safeguard properties. And therefore, anything that has life, when that thing is affected in an emergency and our services are called, we respond to be able to save that life. On many occasions, we have been called to manage rampaging bees, let's say, over a community. And therefore, when we go there, we are able to call in some other experts apart from our technical expertise. If it goes beyond our mandate, we call in other experts to also come and then help us manage these bees. We are able to relocate them to safe places such that they don't cause trouble for the community that they have invaded.
In politics, we stay in the NPP because caution against division in their party is increasing as aspirants enter the last days of campaign ahead of the presidential primaries on January 31. The subject took center stage at the signing of a peace pact among all aspirants on Thursday. Listen to Minority Leader Alexander Fenyumakin at the program.
Let me start off by saying that opposition is painful and lonely. We know this. Good friends don't pick up calls. They ignore us and they find new friends. We are living it. We feel it every day. And surely, none of us wants to remain there. We want power to serve, to transform lives, and to move Ghana forward. But power does not come through division. Power comes through discipline. Power comes through unity. Power comes through sacrifice. Let's note, the history of this tradition teaches us a simple truth. Whenever the MPP is united, it is formidable, and whenever it is divided, it bleeds, and Ghana pays the price.
Well, joy is pulling up at the Chimoto Retail Center, and it's going to be fun from today till Sunday, 25th January. The Chimoto Retail Center has transformed into a hub of fun, music, games, and unbeatable shopping deals as Joy FM hosts Joy at the Mall starting daily from 10 a.m. The 3-day activation of prizes, something for everyone in the family. Shoppers will also enjoy discounted family-friendly deals from participating shops at the mall, making it the perfect destination for weekend shopping with added fun. Here's Joy Brand's General Manager Fifi Kumsin.
Now, aside from the huge discounts, one of the major highlights of the event is the opportunity to take photo moments with your favorite Joy presenters, the meet and greet, the selfies, the live interactions, Lexis, Doreen, Akofa, Kofi Hayford, and all your Joy FM personalities. And the Achimota Mall is definitely a one-stop shop for everything you need, from health and wellness products, foods, designer clothes, computers, and other electronics, construction tools, pretty much everything you need. So head there now and grab all you need. You get music, prizes, shopping, and memorable experiences all in one spot.
Fifi Kumsin is Joy Brand's General Manager, and Adobia Asare is here to tell us what's trending. Adobia?
Mommy, Kwesi Arthur is still in the trains. In fact, he's the topmost topic.
What are they saying?
Well, because of what has been going on yesterday, we spoke about it. Yesterday, Joy FM held an X space, and we spoke to Ground Up's lawyer, and he said Kwesi Arthur has been paid some amount of money, so his claims of not receiving a dime from the label is untrue. Now, this has sparked a whole lot of conversation on X, and there was a poll. 4 questions were asked. Should he take legal action, or should he renegotiate, or should he go independent or speak out? And so many people are saying he should take legal action. So we'll be, observing what will be unfolding, so we give our audience what's going on.
All right. Thank you so much, Adobia Asare, for what's trending. That's how we end this midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Up next is Living What Pastor Menza Waterville.